Hi guys, my name's Craig. Welcome to Small Farmer Life. Hope you're all having an awesome weekend. And today guys, I just want to redo a video, one of my first videos I did when I started uploading videos to the channel regularly, and the sound quality is terrible in this video. The video quality isn't that good after going back and watching it, and I get a lot of comments, bad comments about the video, even though it was one of my first videos. But now I've nailed the sound and the video quality is a lot better also. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but it's a lot better than the first videos, and that is caravans, static caravans in particular, siting them on agricultural land, what you need to do to get a static caravan on agricultural land. And if we're going to talk about that, we might as well talk about the laws around siting a static caravan in the curtilage of your own garden. Now, before we get into that, if you're thinking about buying some agricultural land so you can start a small farm from scratch like me, maybe you want to start a small farming business, or maybe you want to buy some land, start a small holding, eventually live on a small holding. Maybe you want to buy some woodland, start a forestry business and live in the woodland, or maybe you want to hide from the powers that be for 4 years and 1 day and claim the right of lawfulness in something like a stable block. Thinking about doing anything like that, guys, think about hitting the subscribe button. Go back, check out some of the videos I've already uploaded to the channel. You might find some useful information in those videos, and also hit the bell button for future videos. But let's talk about the laws around keeping a static caravan in the curtilage of your garden. So you've got a big garden, maybe a couple of older children are quite happy to live in a caravan in the garden. Can they do that without needing planning permission? Yes, they can. As long as they're using the caravan in conjunction with the main house, then they're allowed to live in that caravan without the need for planning permission. But if the caravan becomes a separate dwelling from the main property, then you would need planning permission and you need to pay council tax on that caravan. So it doesn't matter what type of caravan it is, a static caravan or a tourer caravan, because we're going to talk about caravans in the same sense, because they are exactly the same. Even though they might be different in looks, caravans, touring or static, are under the same laws in the UK, and the Caravan Act doesn't distinguish between one and the other. Just that one gets towed behind the back of a car and one gets towed on the back of a wagon. So they're both exactly the same. Even some log cabins come under the Caravan Act. So that's something you might want to know when thinking about siting a caravan on agricultural land, because if you think siting a touring caravan is any different to siting a static caravan, you're totally wrong. Now, there's different ways you can go about siting a static caravan on agricultural land, and one of the things I would definitely not advise anybody doing, even though you'll see in these forums on websites, when people go onto these forums and ask, can I site a static caravan on agricultural land, you'll see lots of people attack the person who's asking that question. A lot of people just don't like it, and they'll say put in planning permission with your local council. And if you ask a councillor any information on the subject, that's what they'll ask you to do. Also put in a planning application, and they'll take your money, and I'll guarantee 100% of the time you will be refused planning permission, even if you've got a good farming business up and running. And they'll refuse it on this basis. If you do have a good farming business up and running, they'll say, what do you need planning permission for to live on site if you've managed to get a good farming business or any business up and running without living on site? So what you need to do is get your caravan on first in any of those situations we're going to talk about in a minute. So how I managed to get my caravans to stay on my agricultural land. I had one on here for 5 years, nobody said a word. Soon as I brought the second one on, which I got given, the one behind me, I put a wanted ad on Gumtree. A lot of people don't do this, I don't know why. I do it for lots of things and I get lots of things given. A guy said, meet me in a pub's car park. Now, I'm not shy, and some people might think meeting him in the pub's car park, that sounds a little bit dodgy, but I went up anyway. It was only about 15 miles away. He took me to a residential park. He said, that's it there, number 6. I would have given him a few grand for the caravan, but he gave me it just for the moving fees because he didn't want to pay the site fees. He was an engineer or something like that. He'd been down here working. He purchased this instead of staying in a B&B. So he gave it to me. Now, I put this on my land and I had a visit from the enforcement officer. The first one I didn't, but the second one I got a visit from the enforcement officer. The enforcement officer said that'll have to go. The building beyond, which he called the chalet, would have to go. It looks a little bit like a chalet, but it's not a chalet. And the building down the bottom would have to go. So 3 buildings would have to go, he said, and the static caravan. Now, I'm not one of these people who gets scared. I'm not one of those people. And I just thought, no way, they're not going anywhere. I've put loads of work into this farm, and I'm not going to have somebody who, I don't know, maybe got picked on at school or whatever, and is in a position of power, think they can tell me where the bears go for a dump in the woods. But anyway, I put in a plan application. Now, I've read lots of things to do with plan applications, lots of articles to do with siting caravans and everything else, and lots of things to do with running my own business. And one thing I do know about running your own business is if you employ anybody, you have to provide them health and safety in the workplace. So, what's the difference between a business in a building or a business that's outside? And I just thought to myself, well, surely I'd have to provide health and safety in the workplace on a farm. So I put the caravan down as my health and safety in the workplace area, where I provided hot meals, somewhere to get out the rain, somewhere to get a change of clothes if needed. You'd always need change of clothes on a farm. Somewhere to cook anything you want, really. Somewhere to go to the toilet, somewhere to store first aid and provide first aid, somewhere to rest. Just all of these things, a farm office, you name it. I've said it about 4 different times in this thing, but that's what I actually said the caravan was for. I could keep it on the land. It was in the planning statement, but I didn't put in for planning permission to keep it because I didn't need it. It runs auxiliary to the farming operation. And all the farms that you see around with caravans on the farms, that's how they run the farm. They run the caravans auxiliary to the farming operation. The other buildings got planning permission. This can just stay for as long as I need it to stay. Now, if you want to live in the caravan, all you got to do is once it's been there for a while, people get used to it and just moving it. Now, the guy around the corner who's just literally bought the land with 2 barns on it, he moved the caravan on site, put in a septic tank, got a visit from the enforcement officer, and he's just put in a planning application to stay there. He runs a stud farm. That's not agricultural activity, but I guarantee he gets the right to live in that caravan for 5 years, whatever it'll take to get that business up and running. The guy who's got the doggy business got the right to live in the caravan for 5 years. Put the caravan on first. That's what you need to do. You need to put the caravan on first, ask second. If you ask first and then put the caravan on after you've been told you can't do it, they'll look at you in a bad light. But if you do it first, then you're just applying for retrospective planning permission, and lots of people do that all the time. So you've got a better chance of getting it because you're going to play it dumb. Now, these are the ways to go about putting a caravan on agricultural land that I've heard of, but I don't know anybody who's done it. And that is, if you get the right for permitted development, so you've got 5 hectares or more, then you can put in a prior application notice to your local council to build a barn. Once you get the application passed, then you start building the barn. You can put a caravan there and live in the caravan while you build the barn for 5 years. And in the process of building the barn, you can also build up your small farming operation or whatever business you might be building and live in that caravan legally without planning permission. But I've never known anybody to do it, but I have read about it on a website called permaculture.co.uk. Another guy who subscribed to this channel spoke about it in a video he made, Smithy Loch Lomond, From Field to Farm. It's in that book. But like I say, I don't know anybody who's done it, so I don't know anything about it. But guys, one of the main things you've got to take away from this video is get your caravan on site first and deal with the council later. If you don't, and you go and ask them, I'll guarantee you'll get refused. Anyway guys, if you've got any comments, you've got any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Hopefully you can hear this video better than the last video. Thanks again to all my patrons. Your names will be running at the end in the credits. Couldn't thank you guys enough. My name's Craig, you've been watching A Small Farmer Life. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, and you should subscribe, hit the subscribe button. If you want to be notified of upcoming videos, hit the bell button. Make sure you take care of yourself. Most of all, take care of the family. Bye for now. See you.